Let's start this journey deep inside an ancient forest, walking alongside author Cynthia Kamar. What starts out as just a visit to see California's giant redwoods, well, it turns into something else entirely. It becomes this imagined conversation with a living being that's 3,000 years old. It's a story that's going to make you question everything you think you know about time, about survival, and what we might learn if we just stopped for a minute and listened.
I mean, can you imagine standing in front of something so huge, so ancient, that your own ego, all your worries, your pride, it all just vanishes? The author looks up at this 300-foot-tall redwood, and bam, he feels this incredible sense of liberation. See, this isn't just about seeing a big tree. It's an encounter that completely shifts his perspective and kicks off the whole dialogue we're about to explore.
So in that moment of pure awe, what do? You ask the most basic, most profound question there is. It's a question that comes from a place of pure reverence for this silent, towering giant. And then the incredible thing happens. An answer seems to come back to him, carried on the wind and the rain.
The voice he hears isn't just old, it's ancient. It claims to be part of a family that existed since before stone and soil. What does that even mean? It sets the stage for a story on a scale that's almost impossible for our human minds to really, truly get. Okay, so let's try to put that age into perspective. The redwood species, their kind, showed up 150 million years ago. They watched the dinosaurs rise and then disappear. They lived through ice ages that came and went. They've seen the entire evolution of us, of modern humanity. From their point of view, all of our history, it's just a flick. Just let that number sink in. 150 million years. Seriously, this species got its start back in the Jurassic period. While T-Rexes were roaming the Earth, the ancestors of these trees were planting their roots, starting a legacy of survival that would outlast almost everything. And through all those millions of years, they've been the silent witnesses to, well, everything. The redwood describes watching seas dry up, continents drift apart, and entire human civilizations, with all their gods and all their religions, just rise up and fade back into dust. They are living, breathing archives of deep time.
Wow. This line perfectly captures how they see us, doesn't it? From where they're standing, we're just the latest version of the animals that used to climb their branches. And it's not an insult. It's just a simple fact from a being that has literally watched evolution happen with its own, well, not eyes, but you get it.
So all of this sounds beautiful and poetic, right? But it begs a huge scientific question. How is that even possible? How does a living thing survive disasters that wiped out the dinosaurs and pretty much everything else on the planet? The answer, it turns out, is absolutely remarkable.
The secret sauce is something we can call genetic wisdom. Think of it like a kind of inherited memory. When these trees face a huge threat, like a massive forest fire or a terrible drought, they don't just tough it out, they learn from it. They actually write the survival lesson right into their genes.
And this survival code basically has 4 steps. First, you survive the catastrophe. Second, you biologically record how you did it. Third, you pass that genetic cheat sheet on to your kids through your seeds. And fourth, and this is so important, you don't do it alone. They live in huge connected communities, supporting each other for thousands of years.
And yet, after surviving 150 million years of every natural disaster you can imagine, the tree points to a new threat, one that their genetic wisdom has no defense against: us. For the very first time, this ancient, unshakable species is trembling in fear, not of a volcano or an asteroid, but of human beings.
And this chart, this shows you the devastating truth behind that fear. The redwoods have been here for millions of years, but it took us, humanity, just 200 years to wipe out over 90% of the original ancient forests. What nature couldn't do in eons, we almost finished off in the blink of an eye.
Seeing a reality like that, it kind of forces you to shift gears, you know? You move away from science and you have to start thinking about philosophy. When we're faced with this ancient life form and our own destructive power, we have to start asking ourselves some much, much deeper questions.
The author realizes that our words just don't work here. To call this thing a tree feels like a joke, a profound understatement. It's a symbol of strength, of a timescale so far beyond ours that it breaks our little boxes we use to categorize the world.
The contrast is just stark.
On one side, you have a 3,000-year life, rooted in one spot, enduring, quiet. On the other side, you have us, our brief, restless lives, always running around, frantically looking for answers. He points out that we often feel like 100 years is a burden, while this being just stands firm for 30 centuries.
So this leads the author to the ultimate question. After realizing that no science, no philosophy, no religion can really explain a 3,000-year-long life of silent meditation, he just asks, what's the point? Why are you here, standing for so long?
And he comes to this incredible conclusion. The Redwood's purpose isn't to do something, its purpose is to be something. A philosophical mirror. In this vast, empty universe, it stands as a fixed point, something we can measure ourselves against, our frantic pace, our short lives, our priorities.
In the end, the author gets it. Humbling yourself before this ancient being isn't a loss of pride, it's a kind of victory. By recognizing something so much greater, so much older than himself, he finds his own kind of enlightenment.
So we'll leave you with that thought. The author imagined a voice in the wind, a voice that shared a perspective that spanned 150 million years. And it just makes you wonder if we really learned how to listen, not just with our ears, but to the ancient, non-human world all around us. What other profound truths are just waiting for us to hear?